Good evening, and welcome back to Danielle Speaks. It's been a minute, but we are so glad to be back here with you, you guys. I missed you. I've missed being here, and I hope you've missed me and missed the things that we have been sharing with each other during the course of the podcast and the journey we've gone on. Listen, we are at episode 21, and I'm excited about that. And starting episode 21, we're going to do a series called Covered by God. I was invited to one of the Bible study apps with I know you Virgin, you have your Bible study plans with a group, and it was talking about how God covers you. And as I was going through that plan, I was like, wow, this is really, really good. But in that plan, I felt like I was like, there are a couple of things that goes with this. I felt I wasn't the author of the plan, but hey, that's what I felt. And I felt that there were some things that we needed to address, some things that we needed to talk about. And so that's what we're going to do. So again, thank you so much for joining. Listen, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get this started. Invite your family, your friends, your co-workers, your frenemies, everyone. Like, bring them on in because we are back. I'm excited. I feel that there are a lot of things that God has done and that He's been doing and dealing with me with that I just want to share with you guys. So I'm not gonna take too long. Hi, Journey. It's good to have you here. I'm not going to take too long with all of the talkings and everything, but I want to go ahead and dive on in because it's a lot of information. And though being that it's a lot of information to relay or to share, um, I will say this that, whenever I feel like I get a download, it always starts with me first. So I'm never feeling that I'm giving you all information that God had not dealt with me beforehand. So that being said, I want to give you a little bit of something that was given to me. And I shared this with a group of individuals not too long ago, just recently. And I thought that it was worth starting, like I said, this series and sharing. So again, share with your friends, your family members, and let's go. Also remember that during this is not just me having a conversation or conversing on my own. We're in this together. So if you have any questions, if you have comments about anything, please, please, please feel free to put the comments in the comment section. If you would like to comment, but you want to be anonymous, please inbox me. I will be able to get that message, or the producer will be able to get that message, and we can put it out there, or it will be relayed to me so that it can be remain anonymous. But we want feedback. We want you to talk. If something pricks you and you want to share information that can be enlightening to the things that I'm saying, please do so. And again, thank you so much for being here. So let's dig in. So this one, I know we're talking about the series Covered by God. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about how God fights for us. So I want you to know that God does actually fight for us. He fights for you individually. So I wanted to deal there. So in our everyday lives, there are conflicts that are all over. I mean, they're totally unavoidable. You cannot imagine some of the things that you have to deal with that you just like, okay, there it is. I'm going to say this. Just recently, something happened within my family, and I was talking to the individual, and I was like, really, I was like, but it's not something that you have to deal with. It wasn't your fault. Like, you don't have to deal with it. Don't put it on your plate. Don't try to bear the burdens and the weight of it, because again, it wasn't on you. And so while I was saying it, they were like, yeah, but it directly affects me. Yeah, it may directly affect you, but you are not the one that bears that weight. That weight and that responsibility is of someone else. And so as I was relaying that to the individual, I was hearing God say, that's why I fight for you. Like, the weight, the burdens, it might directly affect you, but you can take your hands off. You don't have to worry about anything, because I got this. I'm going to handle it. And while he covers you, when there's something that comes that directly affects you, it's unavoidable. I got you. So don't worry about it. So I was telling the person, I was like, don't worry about it. Like, it's okay. And I know they were like, I was about to say it. I know they were like, girl, listen, it's not okay. And I felt them. But at the same time, when there's somebody that is the responsible party, you don't have to worry about it. You sit back and you let them go to work. So in these situations that are avoidable, these conflicts that are unavoidable, we sit back and we let God do the work. Okay. So and in that, and being said, um, the way we manage them, and that goes back with me how I was talking to the individual, the way we manage the conflicts that are unavoidable is what defines our character and our faith walk. The good thing is we are not alone in the struggle, and God will defend us from any of our adversities. There are numerous accounts that are in the scriptures where we find that God fights for us and he fights on behalf of his people. A few accounts are, everybody's know the story about Joshua and the wall of Jericho, right? So just in case you don't know, God told the priests to go forth first, send Judah first. And so they went in and they started shouting and praising and blowing the trumpets and everything. That wall was huge. And after marching around the city for 7 times, the walls got down. They did not have to do anything. The Israelites did not have to fight. They didn't have to lift a finger. I'm going to put a pin there. The one thing they did have to do was be obedient to God. So I'm going to put another pin there because we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But in your obedience, when you're being obedient to God and being obedient to the will, then he will do the fighting for you. So the Israelites didn't have to do any fighting, and God delivered Jericho into their hands, or into the hands of his people. Let's talk about another account. Paul and Silas, prison break. That's what I like to call that one. Paul and Silas, they're locked in jail, right? You can find this too. I'm not trying to teach a Bible study, but if you want to read that scripture, you can find that in the book of Acts, Acts chapter 16, where Paul and Silas are locked in jail. And while they were locked in jail, like I think there's a song that said the earth started shaking, the chains started breaking. Who did it? Jesus, the miracle man. I think that's a song. I think it's a song. But anyway, they didn't have to do anything. They were put in jail, being obedient to the will of God and doing what God had told them to do. And while in jail, while they were there, God was like, all right, y'all ain't supposed to be in here to be killed now, because you still got an assignment. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and shake things up. You got to get out of here. So bam, Paul and Silas were delivered. God fought for them, sending his angels to do the work. Boom. The unavoidable conflict was solved by the Lord. Let's look at another account. Esther. You know the story of Esther. She was a Jew and she had an uncle named Mordecai. And when I just thought about a movie when the man said Mordecai, and it is like totally this took me out of character just now. Anyway, so she had an uncle and his name was Mordecai, and Haman was a jealous person that was in the Bible days during that time, and he just wanted to persecute the Jewish people. No reason at all. There was absolutely no reason for him to persecute them. So, hey Joyce, how are you doing today? So, because there's no reason for them to persecute them, Mordecai, who was Esther's uncle, when Vashti, the king's wife, the queen, did not come and bid to the king, as when he beckoned to call her, he was like, you know what? I don't even want you no more. Let me tell you what man to do for you, right? They call you you don't do something for them because of whatever reason. Now that she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do, because when the king called, you're supposed to go. She had an attitude about something. Women, check yourselves sometimes. She had a little attitude about something, and so she didn't go. And the king was like, I don't need you no more. I'm putting in this commission. I want everybody to know that I'm looking for another queen. I need another woman because this one, she's no use to me right now. And literally, he just literally put her away. So when Mordecai told her about that or found out about it, he told Esther, I'm gonna need you to get cleaned up. I'm gonna need you to go to the king. I need you to be chosen. Like, you got to work this out. Whatever it takes, you got to be out of the hundreds and hundreds of women. I'm gonna go somewhere with that. Put a pin on that note. So we got a pin on obedience, and we got a pin on the amount of people, because she was chosen out of hundreds of women that went to be. Everybody want to be the queen. So hundreds of women, conflict, the Jews were being persecuted, conflict. She had to be chosen out of hundreds of women. But guess what? She got the position, she got the job. And when she got that position, and the king beckoned, said, well, girl, what you want, girl? You beautiful. You got the goods. What you want me to do for you? She said, there's this joker named Haman, and he doing some things he ain't got no business doing to my people. Because she didn't go letting him know who he was and she was in the beginning. He's doing some things to my people, so I'm gonna need to go ahead, and I need to get you to handle him. And he was like, well, what happened? Well, see, he built this what do you call it? I'm gonna say hangman, right? What do you what do you call those, the hanging thingies, those things that you hang people on? He built that for Mordecai, hangman. He built it for Mordecai. And she was like, nah, he can't kill my uncle. There's no reason for it. And he was like, what you want me to do? I want you to handle that. So guess what? He got noose, the noose, and the that's the noose, that's the noose. But I'm talking about the actual building. Thank you, Journey, though. But noose is one of them. But anyway, he was hung. So the conflict, the unavoidable conflict, you got the Jews being persecuted for no reason at all. You got Haman, that's part of the king. He was like, he had the king's ear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He was in the king's ear. That's another pin to be put somewhere. And then you had Esther, who had to be chosen out of hundreds of people. She was chosen. All of these unavoidable conflicts there, and God fought for them. God was the one that handled it. He used someone that he chose, that was out of multitudes of people. And he said, I'm choosing you. Now, what did that person have to do? They had to be obedient to the voice of God. And when you're obedient to the voice of God, when he chooses you, he covers you. And when you come to an unavoidable conflict, he fights for you. I'm going somewhere with these people. Come on, stay with me. Here's the one I really want to deal with, though. And I hope you all are sharing this information and sharing this message. The one I really want to deal with is Gideon. I don't know if you all know the story of Gideon. And as I just did with the story of Esther, I'm going to try to give you a little synopsis quickly, if I can. Gideon was probably the greatest example involving an unlikely warrior, right? Leading the Israelites into confrontation with their oppressors, and they succeed. Somebody say victory. They got the victory. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to sing Journey, I promise. Okay, so I'm not going to go through too much of the whole backstory of the Gideon information. It is, however, in Judges chapters 6 and chapter 7. I know it definitely starts in chapter 6, but I'm just going to deal with some from points, if you will. Come on, say victory. I'm going to deal. Did you just say you did? I'm going to deal with a couple of points here for this. Okay, so the Israel endured years and years of hardship under the hands of the Midianites. So if I'm not mistaken, it's like 7 years that the Midianites had overtaken Israel. And then so now Israel were frightened. They were running in, hi mom, how are you? Love you. They were running in the caves and in the mountains, watching the Midianites destroy their cattle and destroy their crop. All of those things were being destroyed. Here we go. Conflict number one with this. You got the Midianites. They overtook them. They were more powerful, and they take now the people are scared. Conflict number two, fear. And then they were doubtful because now they don't have food. fear and doubt is in play because now you don't have food. The people are taking over you. They taking your crop. You watching them do that. You hiding because you scared. You in the mountains looking through the caves, watching them just destroy everything and take everything over. And so the thing about it is, while they were in the mountains afraid, God had his eyes, both of them, on one extraordinary individual, and that was Gideon. Now, you all know the story. Gideon's God sent his angel to go to Gideon and tell Gideon that God was looking at him. The Lord is with him, and he called Gideon a mighty man of valor. Right? Gideon was like, no. But God said, despite the reservations that Gideon's had, that he was reassured by God that he would be with him. So long story short, after Gideon was like, no, I'm not a mighty man of valor. I don't know what you're talking about, God. I mean, because that happens when you have fear. You start to question, you start to doubt, right? Because these are the conflicts that we're dealing with right here that are unavoidable. God still assured him, no, I'm with you. So Gideon, within the chapters that I'm talking about in Judges 6 and 7, I don't know if it trickles in 8. I think it does, but don't quote me on that. But I know it's in 6 and 7. He then gets 32,000 men. 32,000. That's the magic number, right? Because the Midianites were great. So he gathered 32,000 men to fight. God told him, that's too many. He was like, sir, but they got hundreds. Like, what are you talking about? Hundreds of thousands. You telling me that's too many, and you're sending little old me, somebody that's not worth anything. I'm just, the smallest or the youngest out of my family. We mediocre people. I'm nothing. And he said, but I chose you because I found favor in you and you're a mighty man of valor. And I don't need you to take 32,000 people to fight. When I told you to do a thing, you just do it. So guess what? Obedience, boop, comes back into play. He has to now be obedient to God. All right. So God gave him instructions on what to do and how to do to get to the number that he wanted. So one was ask the people who are afraid. So out of the 32,000, he went to them and he was like, yo, who's scared? Because we got to fight. You might die. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is right now. All I know is this is what God is saying. So I need to know who's afraid, because if you're scared, I need you to go on back to the house. 20,000 people left out of 32,000, y'all. I saw that number. I was like, them jokers was scared. They don't want to die. I'm a Marine, so we're trained to kill. We're trained to fight to the end. Okay, and here goes my producer right now. But we're trained to fight. We're trained whatever to kill. We're trained to do that one shot, one kill. We don't waste any ammo, and so we're hard chargers. We're gonna go ahead and do it to the end. And I'm thinking 20,000 of the people that joined the army. Ooh, you got so many people that would join in the fight. You got so many people that are in the church that say, I'm in it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So many individuals that are there, yet there's so many that are there, but they're in numbers there because that's what we're supposed to do. That's we're going to be there because, it looked good for me to say that I can fight. When rubber hits the roads, you flee. The Bible says, I'm deviating here. 10 virgins, 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. My husband, I think I said this on the podcast one time before. My husband enlightened me with that for me. 5 wise and 5 were foolish. They were all virgins. They were all supposed to go and meet the bride, right? The bridegroom come. They were all supposed to be coming to meet the groom because the bridegroom was coming. He was coming to gather them. All of them were supposed to be there. 5 wise, 5 foolish. 5 of them had oil to trim their lamps. 5 of them didn't. And so now they go to sleep. The oil goes out. When the oil goes out, they say, oh, the bridegroom is here. The 5 wise took the oil, trimmed their lamp. It's like, deuces, we out. And the other ones were like, wait a minute, I don't have any. Hey, Christine, how are you? The other was like, I don't have any oil. Well, guess what? You don't have any oil. You ain't got no light. You can't go. I just said something. You don't have the anointing. Your light can't shine. What is the kingdom going to do? You can't prosper. You can't go. You can't do anything. So then that's what happened with them. Here's the enlightened part that I'm going back with the 20,000 and the 32,000, the 20 that left. My husband is like, all of these people in the church, they're supposed to be there. They're counted on. They're in the church. They're active. They brought the oil, but just enough oil just to say I've been there, but not enough oil to go in. He said everybody ain't getting in that's in your face and in your presence. And so there was just enough to go in. Half of the church that we see as the church ain't but half gonna make it in. God gave us a description. I just thought I'd throw that out there. So now you got 32,000 men. Who's scared? Bye. See you later. 20,000. They're gone. They just dip. They're like, I'm out. I'm afraid. So then now you have 12,000 people left. God said, yo, get in. That's too many. And he was like, dude, like 20 gone. Like, what am I supposed to do? He said, take them to the brook. And when you take them to the brook, tell them how to drink the water. Like, I can't remember the story offhand, but it was like whoever laps like a dog, whoever keep their eyes open, like all of these different things. And then out of that, who's the one I'm going to tell you to get. 300 out of 12,000. 300 was the one that remained. Only 300. How many of you know little becomes much, much in the eyes of the Father? 300. All you have to do is be obedient to his will and follow him. So the mere 300 men storming the midnight camp one night, blowing their trumpets, smashing pitchers, not pitchers like baseball pitchers, but pitchers that you drink water out of, smashing it, yelling and screaming, talking about the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And when he did that, when he said that, as he was doing that, as the 300 men were doing that, camped out on certain spots, of course, in the camp, the Midianites got frightened. They were surprised by Gideon, and the 300 men began to fight themselves because they were confused. And Israelites and the Israel people were victorious. Someone say victory. When God fights for you, you have victory because nobody can beat God. So fear and doubt. We talked about those conflicts that are unavoidable. You have fear, you have doubt, you have the number of people or individuals that you feel that you can't win with. All of this right here is going on. And so now the Lord fights for us. That is not to say that we don't become perplexed, that we don't have problems or issues within ourselves. That doesn't mean we don't fear or we don't even question God. If you look in Judges chapter 6, verse 13, Gideon did not hesitate in showing his frustrations and his doubts. And yes, I'm reading some notes because I don't remember everything. And here's what this verse says, because I don't remember the verse. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? Uh-oh. And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Now, here you go. Now, in all the previous verses, the angel of the Lord came to Gideon and said, Gideon, God is with you. You are a man of valor. And in today's words, Gideon was like, nah, player. He talking to an angel because he ain't said that to God. But he's like, nah, player, where God at? Because all of this stuff is going on. Where is the Lord? Yet in verse 14, the Lord himself then looks at Gideon. You want to know where I'm at? I'm right here. And he said, go in this might, not in your own, but go in this might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. He was letting Gideon know right then, I know what the might is. You are strong. You are a man of valor. A lot of times we start doing this number of studying, like Moses did. But God told him, you got to go at the burning bush. He told him, you need to go ahead and go to Egypt and let the people go. And he was like, I stutter. No offense to anybody on him that might be watching that stutters, because that's not what the point is. The point is Moses felt like he couldn't talk clear enough. He felt that if he went, he wasn't going to be able to articulate the information that God wanted him to say to Pharaoh, the Egyptian Pharaoh, him. And so he was like, "No, I can't do this." And God says, "Go in your might." He was like, "But I'm gonna be with you anyway." So even though Moses stammered, God was like, "But I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna send Aaron, your brother, with you. We got this. It's all good. So we're gonna do what we do." So when God started to talk to him, he started to tell God how insignificant he was. And I told y'all that before, and how he was just a lonely guy from Manasseh and the youngest. And the Lord assured him, even so then, that he was with him and he was going to overtake the Midianites. He played the numbers game again, the 32,000 and the 300. How was that even going to be possible? Again, remember this: a large amount of people aren't needed to make an impact. One person. God didn't see the 32,000. Now, God knew he was going to get 32,000. Don't get me wrong. But God didn't see the 32,000. He saw the one individual that he knew that if I called on him, if he do what I said, because his heart was in the right place and he was obedient to my will, then all was going to be well and God was going to take that. So one person can make a difference. God is powerful in our weakness. God fights for us. So here we go. You're covered by God, because that's the series. And we're talking about how God fight. Yes, we know God fights for you, but we need to know we're covered by him. So then now, how do we get to the point of knowing that God fights for us? We must have faith and we must trust God. Once we have absolute trust in God, we will be able to enjoy the promises and the benefits that's directly linked into trusting him, right? Again, if you have any comments and questions, please feel free to throw them in there. We'll be looking for them. Think about this: Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Familiar scripture. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understandings, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. God covers us. Trust in him. That's all he asks. Be obedient, trust me, have faith. I got you. We are covered by God regarding all aspects of our life. He will completely cover us when we completely trust him and know that, just like in Psalms 46 or Psalm 46 and 1, 46 and 1, it states, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Song: Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. All right? He is our waymaker. He is our promise keeper. He is our light in the darkness. He is our protection. We are definitely covered by God. God, does that say that we do not worry? I would be remiss to say, no, we don't worry. We don't have fear. We absolutely do worry. We absolutely do have fear. We absolutely have doubt. As Gideon did, as he surely clearly stated to him when he questioned God in verse 13 of chapter 6. He was like, again, where you at? Where's the God that we saw? And why you put us in all this trouble? Like, for real, like, this don't make no sense. But yet he doubted and he worried and all of that stuff. He was chosen to lead an army to fight Midianites that were extremely powerful. Like Midianites, if you read the Bible, if you go back through Judges and read about the Midianites, they were like very, very powerful. And like they were like the Marine Corps versus, no, I'm just they were like, I'm messing with my producer right now, but they were tough. They were like so strong, like for real, for real. And so because of that, he was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you asking me to do this? And where are you? Like, I need help. This ain't good, God. Then he went to 300 people. Like, dude, like, this ain't good. My mama tells me all the time, and she's on here, she's still on here. She says to me, because I tell her, like, I just like, God, you tripping, like, you better stop talking to the Lord like that. But you can have just candid conversations with him respectfully, because you better know who he is. He's sovereign, he's omniscient, he's almighty. Don't be playing no games. But at the same time, he knows who we are. God knows I'm unique. He knows how I come to him when I come to him. I'm not like the people that gonna say the thous and the who's and all of that. I'm not that person. But when I come to him, he knows that my heart is sincere. So I'm coming, right? So I come to him completely trusting him. And that's what we have to do. We have to completely trust God. When we trust God completely, fear, anxiety, doubt, worry, hopelessness, all of those things, they will be forced to leave because faith in God is greater than our circumstances. Bloop, bloop. Have faith in God. All right. He will see you through and he'll fight your battles. My producer's laughing at me and it's okay. Right. But you got to have faith in God. You have to have faith in God. Yeah, I listen, I am who he created and he knows how I talk. That's right, Christine. I just go. Listen, that's all I can do. I just go forth and he understands because again, he created us all differently. Hush Journey. He created us differently and he created us uniquely. We're not going to be the same. I'm not going to look like you. I'm not going to talk like you. I'm not going to sound like you, but I'm going to be who I am. And when I come to God with my fear, with my doubt, with my worry, with my anxiety, with my hopelessness, when I come to him with all of those things, yet trusting him, I can still say, Lord, look, I can't do this right here. I'm a little bit afraid, right? Like for real, like what you doing? Like I'm shaking, shaking. I know it's shaking. It's not shaking. I'm shook. That's what I'm trying to say. I am just like, oh God, I'm cut. Why me? Why me? And you do all of that. And once you do all of that, he's there. He's like, come to me, cast it on me. I got you. Say what you want to say. I'm gonna tell you right now. There are times that I go to him, and I said this before too. Jesus is like inching up on the seat because he's like he has to run interference. He's like God, because she gonna say something crazy out of my. I got her. Lord, see her through me for real, like because she's probably coming crazy. See her through me. But when you do that, and when you're sincere and honest with God, God can he don't like fake people. Ain't no need to do that. Because I mean, first of all, you can't minister fake. You can't reach this generation we in now. You got to be as real as you real can get. I'm deviating. I need to get back to covered and God fighting for us. But guess what? When we real, he can fight for us. We can't come to him fake and insincere. We have to be who we are. He has to use who you are to be able to impact the world where it needs to be. Yes, the Father seek them that would worship him and in spirit and in truth. And that worship thing, oh my gosh, Lady Kershaw spoke Sunday. Oh, let me tell you about this whole worship thing. It started with Evangelist Hutchins when she was talking about something that she ministered that Saturday prior that Lady Kershaw was privy to be at. And man, she got up there Sunday and she just said a couple of little check marks a thing of how we come to God clapping our hands, we praising all of that. And he like, you praising, you clapping your hands. I don't know you. You can do all these things because that's the norm. That's what we're traditionally do, or that's where we are, that we just sanctify yourself. I kept hearing that. Lord have mercy. That's gonna be part of this. I said it. That's gonna be part of this. We have to be sanctified and come into God pure, clean, be intimate with him, so that then he can nourish us, so that he can fill us, so that that complete control can be his and we can do what we do. Let's get back to being covered by God. Okay, so then as I say it, worries, you have all those worries, the doubts and the fears, they will be forced to leave when you have the faith and trust in God, because he is greater than the circumstance. I am covered by God. We must believe that we are truly covered by the Lord God who sits on the throne. Amen. All right, look, we must also remember that God knows who we are. Like he really does. He knows who we are. I just said that. He knows that what we can and what we cannot do. Again, Moses, I know you can't talk, sir. That's why I got somebody for you. What's the next thing you gonna say? Like, oh, Pharaoh big. I'm bigger. I'm God. Like, come on. Like, I mean, what are you doing? He knows our abilities. He knows our strengths. He knows our weaknesses. But as it's been stated again before, He works so well when you're vulnerable, when you're weak, because he is a jealous God. He covers us in the weakness. He works best because he wants his glory to be revealed. He don't want nobody to see you. He don't want you to think that you did it. Like, for real. He does not want you to think that you did anything. He wants all of the glory. People be telling me all the time, like, so and so, I say something, oh, this is good, whatever. And then I go, I think, to God be the glory. I have absolutely nothing to do with anything that Danielle does. Anything that I have, anything that he's given me, it's all because of him. So the glory goes to him and him alone. I cannot do it. I am weak. He is strong. Yes, yes, yes. We need to stop putting God in a box, Christine. That's a great comment, because when we do so, he sit there like this. Okay. Anytime now. What you say? All right. And then when you finally relinquish, when you finally stop trying to be so mighty and so strong about everything that you do, when you just let go, as the people say, let go and let God. When you finally let go and let God, then he go, dadgummit, by time. Now let me do what I know I can do. Thank you for letting me showing who I am. There were many situations that I was in, that I'm telling you now, that only God could do the thing that he did. Literally. And I got to the point, because I'm that person that I'll say I can do it. I'm strong like that. I'm That's just me. So I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. If I need something, I'm gonna break my neck, my back, like totally, 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 um, totally hard, because I feel like if I don't do it myself, then I am weak. I can't do it. I don't want to be defeated. I don't want to fail. God wants you to fail. That's what is that song? I ain't gonna sing it. Um, God made it fail. That's what the people say. God made it fail. Okay, I ain't gonna sing it. But y'all seen that meme, or y'all seen that TikTok where the preacher was saying how God made it fail so he can do it, so he can show himself. He don't need your help. Oh my God. I'm reminded of the song, and I'm not gonna sing it, but I'll say the words, right? The song is, Jesus said, if you lean on me. Jesus said, if you trust me in it. Jesus said, if you lean on me, I won't let you fall. If you lean on me. I want to sing it so bad. Yeah, Journey, I want to sing it. I'm not going to do it though. But he said, if you lean on him, I'm not going to let you fall. God won't let you fall. Like, his word states that he can't. Because he got to stand by his word, number one. He got to back what he said. He don't lie. God is not a man that he should lie. So if he said, I got you, I'm not going to let you fall, I'm going to need you to just go ahead and give me everything, then guess what's getting ready to happen? He going to work it out. He's going to do it. He's going to give you everything. The smallest thing. I'm going to give you all an example of this, covered by God and how God fights. This is how God fights for you. It's not physical or whatever, but you know what I mean. I think. But here you go. No, mama, I'm not singing. Mama say, sing, Danny. I'm not going to do it, because you're going to be in the kitchen or wherever you at singing with me and like clapping. I know. Anyway, that's a whole sidebar. Um, an example of how God fought for me and my family was during school time. So one of my daughters, she goes to Rollins, or both of them are there now, but here's the backdrop. Last year, my oldest daughter went to Rollins. My baby girl, Reagan, wanted to go to Rollins. She had already auditioned, I think twice, did not make it in Rollins. But and when I say didn't make it in, because you can start auditioning, I think, in the fourth grade. And if you make the cut, then like you got a spot held until you actually get to the sixth grade, because it is a middle school um of the arts. And so she did fourth grade, she did fifth grade, she didn't get in. So when she did it for sixth grade, to get in for sixth grade, um, initially she didn't get in. They were like, you didn't make the cut. You're great, but our other school had really good fine arts programs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she was gonna be slated for Gregg Middle School. So last year I was going back and forth from two schools. That means this year I was gonna be doing three schools. I was gonna be doing Sand Hill Elementary at 7:15, 10, at 9 o'clock, I back and forth. And I was just boom, 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 like the whole time. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do that. And so I was in panic mode, but yet prepping my child because she really, really wanted to go to Rollins. So I'm prepping her. Okay, you're going to Greg. Went to the Greg Middle School and she met somebody, one of the teachers that was at Somerville Elementary where she was. They were like met in the hallway, like, oh, like, people running the field, meet and hug. That's how they did in the hallway. And she was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be with me. I believe in da 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 da. And I talked to the counselor that was there because I know her personally. And she was like, I got her covered. Like, don't worry about it, whatever, whatever. And I was still going, like, God, this too much. Like, I was already freaking out last year because it was overwhelming. My mom came as some of the times that she would do to help us out with things that we have when I needed her to be there to do something, to be here for when I'm doing the podcast and Kenny at work and I need to do it, she'd come, or whatever other thing that I needed for her. And me and Kenny were going somewhere, and I was like, Mom, I need you. And she was like, sure, this is what you got to do. My mama called me and she was like, you ain't got no time. There's not enough time in the day for what you have to do. I was like, I know. So now you know why the clothes that you, every time you come to the house and be on the chair that I be asking you to fold instead of me folding. That's why you fold the clothes. Anyway, all of that to say, I was in panic mode. I literally did not know what I was going to do. I prayed and I asked God, like whatever. But now within my own strength, I felt like I knew enough people. Of course, she has to audition to get in. Don't get me wrong. If you don't get in through your auditions, you ain't getting in school. That's how the school is set up. But I was like, God, come on now. Like, she's really good. She's artistic. Oh my God, theater, like she's a drama queen. Like, she could fit in all the little spots that they have. But because of some of the things that she has going on in her own life, that is her challenges, I just felt like, oh man, she gonna get the bad end of the stick. Long story short, she done went to Greg. She meet the teacher. All of this stuff is going on. And I have then relinquished my hand, took my hands off. All right, I can't do anything about it. It's a done deal. It's settled. She gonna go to Greg. She done put the Greg sticker on the door, on her room door. Everything is like, all right, so that's where she's gonna be. She was settled. And like 2 days later, I think, I get a call from the person that's over Rollins School of the Arts, and they're like, hi, Miss Hodges, is this Reagan's mom? Yeah. And she was like, okay, I just wanted to know if she's still interested in going to Rollins because we have a position or a slot available for her for dance. Covered. I was like, like literally, I was like over the top. I was sitting at the desk and I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, yes. And she was like, well, make sure she still wants to go. We need this paperwork, like, tonight. Like, I need you to know because we're gonna call the next person in line, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, no big deal. So I called Kenny because he's picking him up in the car out of line because I was like, Kenny, I was like, the lady called. I was like, Reagan got into Rollins. He was like, okay. And I was like, for real? Like, that's it? He was like, oh, I had already prayed. I knew she was going to Rollins. He was just like, again, Christine, putting God in the box. My husband had already sent the prayer up. I prayed, but he had already sent the prayer up. And he's like, my prayer get through. He's like, your prayer don't reach past the ceiling. My prayer goes all the way to heaven. And I told God, like, look, I'm gonna need you to handle this because you said that you're gonna be able to work things out for us. And you said, he started throwing his word back to him, which is what you do. You pray God's word. God had to sit up and say, yo, my boy down there praying, Jesus. Danielle husband praying. She prayed, but her husband praying now. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and handle this. And he fought. He went in. I don't know what happened to the person whose slot we got. I pray that they were okay, but I'm so glad that we got the slot. God fought for us. That might be small for you, but it's major for us. It was major for us. And I had to coerce my child because now being autistic, I had to flip her head. Not me personally, but she had to now change because she was set. I'm going to Greg, da 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 da. And so it was a change for her. But God did it. And my point is, God did it. He fights for us. He got your back. He cannot go back on his word. And if he says it, he's going to do it. So I implore you, because Kenny, thanks for laughing at me. That's my husband, Kenyatta. Thank you. I appreciate the laugh, but it is what it is. I'm going to say, and I see all of you all's comments on here that you have been sending. Thank you so much for tuning in and commenting. You can still share this because it's still going to be on Facebook. It's still going to be on our YouTube channel. But I am going to say remain encouraged today. Please remain encouraged. I would say as how God covers us. One of my favorite scriptures and passages of scriptures is Psalm 91. And verses 1 through 4 says, and I don't know it verbatim, I know first verse for sure by heart, but it says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feather. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Trust God. Seek him first. You are completely covered by the Lord in all things that are regarding you. And as you're covered, God will fight for you. My friend Reginald, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. Yes, you will never know God to tell a powerful, you will never know God to be all powerful until you are all powerless. That's exactly what I said, but not in those words. In your weakness, he is strong. Your weakness invites God to be God. See, that's why I like you, Reggie, because you'll say stuff like the what's the word I'm trying to say out my mouth? The beautiful way to say it. You say it so nicely and so refined, if you will. When you're weak, God is strong. He loves it when you're weak. He loves it that you need him. He loves it that you don't have power to do anything because he is the one that is all powerful. It's not about you. It's about him because it's about him getting the glory. It's about him being shown to the world that with him, all things are possible. So, guys, you're covered by God. He's going to fight for you. You're covered by God. He's going to fight for you. Remember that. You are covered by God and he will fight for you. There's a comment here that says, I ain't got my glasses on. Trusting for me is hard, especially when things keep happening and drudging up feelings and emotions that I thought I had overcome. But I appreciate this because it humbled me and settled me. Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm glad to know that that is because that's what we're here for. We're here to give some information that can help. There is power and security in humility. Listen, Elder Wright, you said something there. I've I've had a couple of friends that God has had me to share with in that humility aspect. Wherein because they're, when you are puffed up, when you show that you're puffed up and I'm Danielle the Great. I can do anything. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do this. This is what I do. I do this all the time. You can't have my job. I'm number whatever in I'm a Marine. Throw that. I'm a Marine. You can't beat me. Like, we the 911 emergency number 4. God be like, oh, for real? Let me humble you right quick. And it's always good to humble yourself before the Lord humbles you. Check me, because that's what he'll do. I got this. Let me get you right quick. Let me put you to the point that you realize this is not what we're doing. This you're nobody. You are. I'm just a nobody. I will stop singing. I want to sing so bad. Whoo! And what we should be doing. I'm a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. That's what you should be doing. That's a song. That's right. Because you are no one. You are no in the eyes of God. You are someone in the eyes of God. So let me make sure I'm making this clear. But in your own strength, you do nothing. You are nothing. You cannot do anything in your own strength. You need the power of God. You need God to be there to assist, to not to assist you to do it. He need to be the one to do it. Let him do it. Let him do the work. So you got to humble yourself, because when you don't, I watch God humble a friend of mine. My goodness. And I had to tell this person, you about to be humbled. Watch yourself. This, it ain't all about you. And I was, how you know when the Lord tell you to say something to somebody and you're scared to say it, not necessarily like you're afraid, but you're afraid at the same time. So excuse me, so you're afraid. Excuse me. So you don't want to say anything. Um, and God was like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it now, do it. And so I went around the church and I went to the person and I was like, this is what God says. And I said what I had to say, and I was getting to look like, okay. Mhm. Oh, okay. 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 All right. All right. Okay. And I walked away and I was like, well, Lord, I did what you said. And I sure hope you said, I was confident, but I was just like, ooh, but I did what you said, God. So that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, Napier, how are you doing? And so I did what God said, and sure as his name is God, it happened. The trickle effect happened with the individual. And I was just like, oh, oh, oh. And the person, I will say this, that night, the person did message me and said, I want you to know that I heard what you said. I got you. I understood clearly what you said. And you're right. You're right. The person, of the wife of the person came to me and said, you know what? Thank you so much. They told me what you said, and thank you, because I've been having a challenge even saying that. And so thank you. And when it happened, we still friends, have conversation with the individual until the individual was floored, like floored, and literally stepping up, stepping up, stepping up. When he humbled himself, the door, God said, all right, now you ready. And I mean, just blew open. Just placements, the stuff that they're doing now is just phenomenal. So I'm telling you right now, again, be encouraged. Know that God covers you. Know that He's going to fight for you. He's going to fight your battles, but you got to be you got to be obedient. 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 You got to be obedient to God's word. You got to be obedient to Him. These people were obedient to God. Esther had to be obedient, right? He had to be. Joshua and the Levites and stuff to get Jericho wall down, they had to be obedient, and they had to do it exactly how God said it. Oh, don't try to switch up the message when He give it to you. Say something different. Cause a whole half of the wall come down instead of the whole wall. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. You got to be obedient. You got to do it God's way. You got to trust Him. You got to have faith. There's a faith walk that goes with this. That was the hardest thing for me was trust. I had faith, but that trust part, child, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Like really, 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 really couldn't do it. But you need to just remember to be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Put on His whole armor. That's Ephesians 6, right? Ooh, right? Ephesians 6 and 8 and stuff like that. And they tell you about the armor and the breastplate and all of that stuff. Ain't that right? Yes, obedience is better than sacrifice. Pam, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? I love you. Yeah. Somebody tell me if I'm right. That's Ephesians 6, right? Ain't nobody gonna help me out. Come on, Bible scholars. It's Ephesians 6. I'm gonna stand on that. Yes, thank you, Journey. Appreciate you, love. Put on the whole armor of God. Be strong in the Lord and the power of His might. I'm gonna keep talking because I'm full. Because this blessed, I told y'all this blessed me first. Because he had to check me first. You can't be telling other people or giving other people something that God give you and He don't say something to you in it. So he had to check me first. So I'm glad and I appreciate you guys for coming, joining in and tuning in with us on today. I encourage you to stay on the path of godliness. Stay on the path of sanctification and sanctifying yourselves, because that's what it's going to take. Don't be comfortable in what you see the norm and what you're doing right now. At the end of the day, if you're not doing it God's way, it's not happening. It's just not happening. It's not good to go. So thank you so much. Listen, subscribe to the YouTube channel. please, please, please remember to do so. I'm going to put a couple of pins or do some house cleaning right here as well. I've noticed over the past couple of months, I think I would say, we were slightly behind because of whatever reason, because of the camera stuff not working, because of traffic, because like today I was in another meeting as well, like I was doing, like it was so much, and still trying to do it at 6 o'clock. We're gonna change the time. It's gonna be 6:30. Okay, still prepare yourself. We're not gonna try to be out there so long, but housekeeping. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I love you. Housekeeping is what I'm doing right now. Some housekeeping. Um, we're going to change the time to 6:30. So instead of, because that's pretty much the time we've been coming on, around 6:30. So we're gonna do that. And God bless you, Pam. Love you, sweetheart. Love you so much. Um, Hey Rose, how are you? Thank you so much for enjoy. And listen, you guys, I appreciate that. I want to know that this is touching your lives. So thank you for that. A lot of people would inbox me or message me, but I appreciate knowing that what it encourages me. To be honest, it encouraged me to keep going and doing what I'm doing, to know that this is helping other people. So in the next 2 weeks, instead of 6 o'clock, we will be on here at 6:30. Now, the producer and I are gonna be here the regular time because we got to make sure things are up to par and up to snuff. But I just wanted to let you all know. So you'll be seeing us on at 6:30. The flyers and everything will be saying now 6:30. Again, I'm so glad you're here. Remember, you can visit our website www.daniellerlee.com. The information, all of the podcasts will be on the website. Merch is also on the website. You can get mugs with Shame is Not to Blame on it, which is the title of the first book. You can get t-shirts with Shame is Not to Blame on it. You can order the book Shame is Not to Blame, How Overcoming Pain Leads to Purpose, on the website as well. And listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, the other book is coming. It is well on the way. Nikki, are you out there listening to me? I'm going to call you very soon. It is on the way. A lot has been happening the last couple of months, guys. I mean, a lot. But God, he still sits on the throne, and he is God, and he knows what he's doing. And that's all I can say. If you would like to be a blessing to Danielle Lead the Brand and to Danielle Speaks Ministry, please feel free to cash app us at Danielle Lead the Brand, $ Danielle Lead the Brand. It is going to it's literally rolled over right into what we're doing, into ministry, into going out and pouring in to the lives of others. So thank you so very much for joining. I love you guys. Thank you. What did he just say, my man, the producer? You're the man, Mr. Yes, listen, Bradley is the man. He is the man, and I appreciate him so much. Y'all don't even know, because all of this, what y'all see right here, that it comes from him. So, and I tell him all the time, but publicly again, thank you so much for being who you are and for doing what you do. Napier, love you so much as well. Thank you again for joining. For those that did join, please again, share the video, share this podcast. And until next time, again, we love you. Danielle Speaks.